Here are just some facts from the Anxiety and Depression Association of America. Anxiety disorders are actually the most common mental illness in the U.S. It's affecting 40 million adults in the United States, age 18 and older. It's about 18% of the population every year. And talking in terms specifically of social anxiety disorder, it infects 15 million adults, or about 6.8% of the U.S. population. Social anxiety disorders are equally common among men and women and typically begins around age 13. According to a 2007 ADAA survey, 36% of people in social anxiety disorder report experiencing symptoms for 10 or more years before seeking help. I'm sure many of you have experienced anxiety in one way or another. One thing that can be involved with anxiety is procrastination. And here's a relatable example. Just TV, Stranger Things. What a great Monday. Oh, wait. Hold on one second. Let me pause this. Okay. Oh, that's right. Forgot. Right. I have so much homework to do. Homework. Page paper due tomorrow. Study for tests. Sign up for classes. Design project. Oh my goodness. This is so overwhelming. Oh my god. I'm going to lose my mind. I just don't want to do anything. Yeah, just watch TV. I'm going to procrastinate. It's not worth it. Yeah. No. Now, this example may have been a little over exaggerated, but you guys get the point. People often deal with a lot of issues, and, especially in college where they have a lot of work. And I know personally I'll have a lot of work at one time, and one thing I do is I just try to avoid it until the last minute possible. And that definitely causes a lot of stress and anxiety. Procrastination is, in fact, uh, linked with anxiety, and it happens. We get really overwhelmed with our work, and then we decide to just let it go for a while, and then once all that work comes and hits you at once, that makes the anxiety even worse. And this becomes a big problem, especially in kids in college, because often the workload is heavily increased compared to high school, and incoming freshmen, they might have a really hard time dealing with this type. I myself am a victim of this. I'm a senior in college, and I still procrastinate, and it does give me a lot of anxiety issues, and I definitely need to work on it. But the biggest thing, I think, is just to try and stay on top of your work, and when you do that, it does make things a lot easier in the long run. Another big issue for students coming to college and dealing with anxiety is social anxiety. And this is definitely something that is very hard for a lot of people freshmen coming into college, meeting new people and trying to adjust to living on your own. It can definitely take a toll on people. Most people experience mild discomfort in performance or unfamiliar social situations. For example, like public speaking. Public speaking is definitely one of the things that definitely can give you anxiety, especially for college students. The biggest thing with trying to figure out how to deal with your social anxiety is to try to know your triggers. Lewis Schmidt, a professor of psychology and neuroscience and behavior at McMaster University, describes anxiety disorders in general as spectrums that encompasses a variety of factors, including brain chemistry, personality, environmental factors, and life events. An interaction with any of them can lead to issues of anxiety, and while you can't do anything about your brain chemistry and personality, knowing your environmental factor triggers feelings of anxiety gives you the opportunity to plan ahead. Also, besides just public speaking, sometimes it can get even more extreme where people are having anxiety just from going out in public to eat, or they're just going out to try to hang out with friends, or they're in a crowd of people and they can't handle being around people. These are more extreme types of social anxiety. One of the points to help with anxiety, especially with um, public speaking, one thing you can do is always try to practice your speech ahead of time. If you know you have trouble speaking in front of people, just try to go over everything you're going to say, try to practice it until it becomes pretty much second nature. This is something that I've done before, and it definitely helps. This another thing you can kind of do, and I know it definitely is hard for people who are nervous to talk during class. You know, try to speak up during class. This will help you become more comfortable talking in front of the class instead of just going straight up, standing in front of everybody, and never have spoken in the class at all. This will help you get some almost practice. Some forms of social anxiety can include, actually going out in a social setting, hanging out with new people. And me personally, I am always worrying about what to wear. It's funny to say, but here's just a funny clip. Don't take it too serious. Something that I may do on a regular basis before going out in a social setting. I was able to talk to one of my friends about his experiences with social anxiety. Here's Gino.
100%. I don't know if there's even a human being out there who hasn't experienced social anxiety, like the feeling of going into a public place somewhere and feeling that feeling in your chest, like you may not want to see a person in particular, or you just don't want to be around people, or for whatever reason. I think 100%. Like, yes, that's the basic. I think the biggest thing with social anxiety, or I've found, is that you constantly feel like you have to come up with a good response, or you have to be like funny, or like enjoy a perfect conversation with people, and that's just not the reality. I think like in situations where you're in a social setting, like you just have to, let's say for example you're in like a restaurant or you're ordering food somewhere. You're going there to get some food. You're not going there to like make everybody laugh. You're not going there to be witty. You're not going there to be like a person of interest. You're just trying to get some food. So really, in reality, it doesn't matter like what these people think of you and their opinions. So for me, that's what I use to kind of like dial down those feelings of social anxiety if I ever have them, is just kind of remember that like, okay, others' opinions don't really matter, and I don't have to be somebody who's like constantly on point with everything. Maybe I just want to get some food, like something like that.